next up, we have our wonderful sponsor, Engage. Chris Smith is going to be joined on stage by Hugo Harding from Big Bus Tours, and they're going to discuss how Big Bus Tours modernised customer experiences. Please give them a huge welcome to the stage.
Good morning. I am the slot just before lunch, so I will try and wrap this up as quickly as possible. Just to quickly introduce myself, I know I've got a slimmer photo up there, but I'm Chris, so the Commercial Director for Engage. We're an insights-led customer engagement platform working with people like Farfetch, who might be in the room, Travelodge, Kayak, and of course, Big Bus Tours, who we've been working with. So a little bit about me. As much as I would love to talk about myself and Engage for the next 20 minutes, I think it's best we talk about you, Hugo.
Cheers, Chris. Hello, everyone. I'm Hugo Harding. I'm VP of E-commerce and CRM at Big Bus Tours. I've been in customer experience / digital for, God, over 20 years now, which is scary to think. Previously at Barclaycard and then EDF Energy before that. Been at Big Bus now for 4 years, and I look after the website and app, and then latterly CRM. So all on-site conversion, CRO, UX, all sits in my team, as well as the content management as well. And yeah, obviously relevant for this session, I inherited or started the CRM function about 18 months ago, and it's been an adventure.
That has. Let's talk a little bit about the adventure. So, as you mentioned, I think it's close to 2 years we've been working together. Can you just explain a little bit about your long-term personalisation strategy from the initial search to repeat bookings, and where, maybe some of the challenges that you faced along those 18 months, 2 years that you've seen?
Yeah. So Big Bus Tours, our goal is we're the biggest operator of hop-on, hop-off bus tours in about, I lose count, 28 cities worldwide. And our long-term strategy is not just to be the bus people. I know the hint's in the title, but we want to do more. So we, not just offer our customers the best bus tour to do in every city, but the best experience to have in every city. And to think of where our personalization strategy was 18 months ago, I mean, without really over-egging it, we just knew our customers as booking numbers. They were booking references. And so we'd spam them out with emails saying, dear reference X574, hope you enjoy your trip, blah, blah, blah. My boss, the chief commercial officer, brilliantly, and it was good to hear the Currys guys around having senior support, said that's not okay. So 18 months ago, we onboarded a new platform. We onboarded a new CRM agency, Flourish. I was given budget to onboard a new team, and we basically started again. It's been fantastic. Wholesale migration, literally ripping everything up and starting all over again. But the key being, we have some really, well, one, we have literally a captive audience. They're sitting on a bus, so we've kind of got them there. Rather than working in energy or financial services where I have had, where you've got an audience that really doesn't want to hear from you, I've actually got an audience that do want to hear from you. We have a fantastic app, and we have really great UX on the website. And of course, we've got all our on-street teams and everything. So we're infrastructure-wise set up really well to manage our customers' experience and personalize it from pre-booking through to booking to day on the tour and post-tour. So first piece was to sit down with our agency Flourish and go through the strategy. And again, it's not rocket science, but we mapped out a sort of better basics all the way through to surprise and delight touchpoint journey. I've been doing touchpoint journeys, as I said, for like 20 years. So, but it's nice to do it in a newish function. And that's what we've been addressing. So for the last we've been live effectively for a year or so, 6 months or so, with sort of migration and data cleansing and all that sort of stuff. But to actually start those building blocks. So one, look at the better basics. So one, let's stop talking to customers as X574-3. Let's acknowledge what they've booked, where they're going to be. Also acknowledge what city they're in, what else we can offer in that city. Because, we don't just do hop on, hop off. We've got Tour Dubai that does desert safaris and dune bashing. We've got Tower Tours in California that does wine tours. And in Madrid, we've got loads of out-of-town tours. So there's loads of additional things that we can talk to our customers about. And that's the journey we've been on, really, for the last sort of year or so, building out those comms, starting with the basics. And there's so much more to do, which is what's really exciting. But then looking at what the vision can be. Customers got their app. It's in their pocket. Obviously, they sign into push, et cetera, but we can then know real time when they redeem their ticket, when they board the bus. We're looking at things like geolocation, where we can say, all right, well, you're just around the corner from the London Eye. We do London Eye tickets. You want some now? Buy now. So get that whole seamless e-commerce journey woven into a personalization piece is, one, where we're on track to be, and two, just a million miles away from where we were.
That's a really good point. Claire wrapped it up lovely in the last meeting, and I remember our very first meeting in your offices, we spoke a lot about KPIs. So can you talk a little bit about the KPIs that you're measuring? You've got from repeat purchase to customer acquisition costs to engagement metrics. Like, what's the KPIs? And if you can give us a little sneak peek on how well you're doing, it'd be good to see that.
Yeah, of course. So all the usual KPIs, obviously, revenue is the bottom line, literally. That's what we are trying to do. But actually, the case is to underpin that through customer loyalty. So uptake of the app, we're in their pockets, not in a creepy way, but in a way that sort of ensures stickiness and an open comms channel. So I've got those targets. Talking to Phil, my Chief Commercial Officer, he wants something like 90% of our customers using the app and them all opted in, which I've sort of said, yeah, but maybe in 2030. But that's the ambition. You get the Big Bus app. The Big Bus app is fundamental to your enjoyment of your tour of that city. Because we can, obviously we can sort of give you on-the-day offers, but then we can then keep that ongoing personalization post-tour, loyalty programs, all of those kind of KPIs. So yes, I've got a revenue target, and we've basically doubled what we were doing year on year by doing relatively little. I mean, it's been loads, and I'm not underselling it, but if you look at the roadmap and the plan, we're doing the better basic stuff. So we've got sort of some basic flows going, we've got some sort of good triggers going, but actually it's not, a highly complex CRM journey, but we're just able to do it better than we were before. So I'm going to be judged on app uptake, app retention, as well as obviously revenue and conversion rate and open rates for email. But yeah, building the app as the cornerstone of our business, that's the key.
No, it's good. You've touched on it, retention being a big part, and you started the conversation like everyone knows us as the bus operator. You guys sell a lot of activities in a lot of geos, so the same customer could be someone from London that they go to New York. How do you use your personalization at the moment to ensure repeat purchases through more cross-sell, upsell, retention of users?
Yeah. So I touched on it already, but what we've got within MoEngage is actually really customizing, and I'm not just saying that because MoEngage have invited me here, honestly, but a lot of attribute customization. So we've got multiple platforms where we have customer data. We're not as joined up as you would think. The digital sign-up, web and app sign-up is actually the best, but that's only 25% of our acquisition. So we've got on-street, we've got third parties, OTAs, online travel agents, we've got hotels selling our tickets, et cetera, et cetera. So the first piece has been around how we take those data points and integrate them, and we haven't finished the integration yet. There's loads to do, but from what even we've got already, and customizing those attributes in MoEngage so that we can build up our customer profile. So we're not just know that customer one has bought a ticket in London, we know customer Hugo has bought a ticket in London and he's traveling on Tuesday, and that ticket was actually not through the web, it was through face-to-face. And he hasn't taken the 3 top next best action offers that are on there, and so then therefore we can start to personalize our comms to Hugo and give him a push or send an email that says, well, look, we know you're in London tomorrow. Why don't you do a London Eye? Why don't you go and check out the Tower of London? And all around adding to that portfolio of experiences that our customers can get from us. MoEngage is helping with that, but also the fact that we do have a wide portfolio of things that we can talk about makes it easy to do. And then, as I said, looking at those more real-time functions when we know exactly where a customer is, again, not in a creepy way, but we know where they are on their tour, and we can tailor those contacts to enhance their day, basically. And we've got a whole portfolio of things to sell, and we are, as I said before, the overall corporate strategy is, hop on, hop off buses, brilliant. That is our core, and we will always maintain focus on that and be excellent in that. But the focus also now, but also we don't want to open in any old city. I'm not going to mention my competitors because that will be poor form. But we're quite picky with where we want to be deliberately because we want the tour to have something to show. Again, I'm not going to downdo any cities in the world, but there are some cities that have more to see than others. So therefore, there's only there's a kind of ceiling to that, right? You sort of saturate that level of experiences quite quickly. So building up that portfolio, desert tours, wine tours, duck tours. So we have ducks in Singapore. We will be looking to open in other cities as well, so watch this space. So that's where you sort of drive around an amphibious vehicle and splash into the river. I don't know if you've been on one. I haven't been on one yet. It sounds terrifying, but they're incredibly popular and fun. So that diversification, again, is gold to us for our CRM and personalization because we've got more to offer. And like I said, it's things that people want to do. So we're not, we're not kicking down a door. The door's open. So.
You guys get so much data on people, right? A lot of people probably look at single customer view as one person. Their family, their kids, where they're going on holiday, how long they've been on holiday for. You guys collect so much. But if I take you back 18 months with Flourish, we sat down in a meeting room and we spoke about the different types of campaigns that we can launch that can bring in new ideas, take you from the transformation journey you've been on. What would you say is some of the most impactful quick wins that you've found in terms of the personalization strategy migrating over to MoEngage?
And this is a really boring answer, but the first thing we had to do, so MoEngage sends out our transactional mails as well, our customer service mails as well. So the booking confirmation email, I mean, it's literally here's your ticket, and always historically it was here's your ticket. We had to get that working from day one, obviously, because that's a crucial part of fulfillment and blah, blah, blah. And we really focused on getting the UX of that really nice and making it warm and personal and getting the build so that it looked just as much as a marketing sort of relationship building email as it was a transactional one. That is now our biggest earner. So that goes out however many sales we do a day, and we get, $2,000-3,000 worth of bookings off the back of that every day. It's basically tripled in the revenue that it's generating. And that is it's saying exactly the same thing as the other one used to do, but the look and feel is better. We've also got more customization in there. We're also bringing in more interactive elements in there as well. And we're using some of those data points to, again, personalize the variant modules we've got within the email so that it feels more of a one-to-one, less of a sort of bulk spam and more of a one-to-one. So again, that was great. Talk about stakeholders and managing, C-suite expectations. Doing that from day one already was showing, well, look, if we can do this with that, just think what we can do with everything else that we want to try and do. So it was fantastic for me because it validated what we'd just been through, but obviously fantastic from looking forward, of what's possible.
I know, because we've just done your QBR last week.
Yeah, I know.
KPIs, but I think you've briefly touched over it over the last 2 or 3 questions, but Can you just summarize some of the KPIs and the performance that you guys have seen already? Because you're just about to have one of the best months on record, right? So,
yeah. So email open rates have basically doubled since we've gone live, which is fantastic. Send rates are the same, but actually we have, I can't think off the top of my head. I wish my CRM manager was here. He's actually on holiday and he was going to be doing this, but he's on holiday. But, you know, we have like multiple segments, which we never had before. So, you know, it's not just, have they got a ticket or haven't they? It's, you know, when was the last time they opened the email? So we tailor to that. You know, are they in our super hot bucket? We tailor to that. Are they cool? We've just finished a 1 million mailer to a load of disengaged records, because they were records that we lifted from the old system that we didn't manage to cleanse. And we've had something like 0.5% of those have engaged, which is fantastic. So they now go into our warm pot, so then we can start to speak to them differently. So we've sort of built the whole sort of incubation cycle, which never existed before. App-wise, we always used to do okay with the app. Again, very basic app push we used to do, and inbox cards. And again, they were always an always-on revenue generator, but not personalized and not very special. But, you know, again, they'd do, you know, 50 to 100K a month just by being there. Last month, we exceeded that target for the first time. And the app has taken longer for us to integrate because, again, it's a different platform and there's more to do with the API. But now that has now tipped over into exceeding. Email revenue has tripled. Again, it was an open goal, but it still needed to be scored. Sort of being cheesy. But, you know, there are ways of doing this where you could have done it wrong. But actually, I think the way we've approached it in the sort of chunking things up and sort of being really clear on, let's start with that, let's get that working, and then we'll build, and then we'll build, is working really well. And yeah, and we're on track to double our revenue from personalization programs this year. And then next year, we've got an incredibly stretched target, which is looking to take us into 7 figures. So that would be an incredible achievement, actually. I'd be very happy with that.
I'll pass that over to customer success.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I've got a lovely
I'll buy him a pint if we get there.
I've got a lovely clock telling me we've got 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
but,
God,
you know, it wouldn't be a presentation if we don't talk about machine learning, and AI is quite prominent. How are you guys implementing machine learning, AI into your personalization strategy is my first question. And then my follow-up question is going to be is there any recommendations or any advice that you guys are going to have, say, either stakeholder mapping or things to implement or things to think about in their AI and personalization strategy, apart from buy, mow, engage?
Yeah. Yes. So we are starting to use AI in various parts in the business. From my functions perspective, we're starting to use AI in content. So I've got the owning the content team, so the digital content team. We are very carefully and under strict controls using AI to help us create our blogs and help create our travel logs and whatever. Now, let's be super, super clear. I am not doing ChatGPT and sticking it on the website and saying, there you go. But being really, really clear and writing our briefs and getting that initial content back from AI, and then my team then finesse it, tone it. It just allows us to get that content out more quickly, frankly, but we still need humans, importantly. From a Mo Engage point of view, and this is a more exciting bit, there's 2 learning modules that we're using, and that's where I'm looking down at my notes because Luke would be able to tell me what these are. So send time optimization that we've got in Mo Engage, which is great. Using that with every campaign, so that learns as it goes and tailors your send times per campaign, but also the client data learning as well. So who is more engaged? Who is most likely to open? Of that segment you've already created, again, tailoring when they get sent, what they get sent, at what time, and using what variables in there based on how they've behaved with us. I mean, that's complete. I mean, it's just night and day towards what we were doing before. So that's all out of the box, actually. Again, I'm not here to big up Mow Engage necessarily, but it's been good. So that is what we're using. Interesting, we had a QBR, we've got 30 seconds, but we had a QBR with our search agency last week, and they did a piece on Google AI and where that's going. With again, I need to remind myself what it's called. So the query fan out piece, which is then not just scraping information from existing web pages or whatever, but starting to bring in different channels. So even looking at your Gmail and looking at your other touch points across the piece to bring back a more accurate AI thing. I think that's very, very interesting in the world of email. So where we will be, where customers will be receiving our personalized comms, that is now open to scraping and Google AI, which will then tailor search results to that customer based on what they've engaged with and what they haven't engaged with. I think it's going to be interesting to see how we start to utilize, that sort of third-party use of AI in what we send, everything being around trust, right? So everything being around authenticity and trustworthiness. If Google is using that in its search results from using some of the comms that we send to build up its picture of people in its search results, it starts to get very interesting. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hugo, and thank you to the audience. If you do have any questions, I know it's a fireside, we're in the booth over there, so come and find Hugo and I, and we're happily able to answer any questions. Thank you.
Cool. Cheers, Chris.
Thank you so much.